Hello, everybody. Did you know that life is risky? Top secret, no one's making it out alive. We don't like to think about it, but it's the truth. That is how risky life is. No matter how safe you play it, you will not make it out alive eventually. So you can hide under your blankets in a corner and never make a move in any direction. Never take a leap of faith. Never take a risk for your own benefit, a good, healthy risk. And you'll live longer, but you won't live more fulfilled. Be willing to take healthy risks in life. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Everything is risky. Every step you take is risky. It's inherent. Some risks are reckless, don't do those. But everything is risky. When you fall in love, you risk getting your heart broken. When you interview for your dream job, you risk not getting it. When you get your dream job, you risk realizing you're better off where you were before. But you also risk finding your soulmate, having the dream job that you desired, having your desires, losing the weight that you want to lose, leading a healthy lifestyle, feeling strong internally and externally, and stable and healthy, wealthy and wise, with enough time to enjoy it. But you have to be willing to take a risk. You have to be a little brave, a little self-confident, and take a risk. And you can't let the fear of failure stop you. We put a lot of undue weight on that word, failure. We self-identify if we fail as that we ourselves are failures. If you take a risk and it doesn't pan out, then you failed, so you are a failure. Really, all failure is proof that you have tried something. We don't marry every person we've ever dated, or we'd be married and divorced about 100 times over our lifetime. We date. Those relationships don't work out. We don't go into a relationship expecting it not to work out, or we wouldn't go in. But more often than not, they don't work out. We don't call them failures. It just reached its completion and they weren't the right one. They weren't the right fit. And so you move on to the next venture until you find the right fit. And every time you enter into a new relationship, you are taking yet another risk. And this one may or may not work out as well. It's not a failure. It's life. It's required. It's a learning experience. Every failure is just proof that you tried something. If you're not failing, you're not trying. No one is perfect. No one gets everything right the first time without you have to learn how to do it well, how to do it right, enough about yourself and enough about the thing to succeed in doing it. And everything's ever changing and evolving, and so are you, and so the dynamics of the things change as you go along the process, and you have to adapt and switch and flip things up, and you'll plateau and you will flatline and you'll backward slip and you'll have to adjust again and do it again. Those are not failures. Falling on your face is not a failure. It's proof that you are trying something in your life. And every time you make a failure, don't judge it as a failure. See it as an opportunity to learn what didn't work. Failure is guaranteed in trying. And unless you want to miss your life, you have to try. So don't fear the failure. Every time you hit a failure, do your grieving, your process of mourning the loss and all of that stuff. Don't internalize it as a failure, as a mistake, and harbor what what is wrong with you, what's wrong with life, what's wrong with the world is crashing down, I'm a bad person, this is a horrific situation. Don't do that. Take appropriate time to mourn and adjust, and then reflect and figure out how you approach the situation wrong. What did you do wrong in this previous relationship that you're not going to take into the next relationship? What was the other person doing in this previous relationship that you are not going to accept in your next relationship? When you see that in the next person, they're not an option for you because you don't want to repeat history. You don't want to make the same mistake. And you will conduct yourself differently than you did in the previous relationship because you have the humility and character to take a good look at your own self and your own mistakes in your conduct in the past relationship as well. So the relationship didn't fail, it ran its course to a completion, and you were together as long as you were meant to be together, and you both learn something about yourselves and about relating to other people so that the next time around you will do it better. And you will do it better again, potentially. And you will do it better potentially 100 times before you do it right. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you married your high school sweetheart and it lasted forever. That's a rarity. That's like the, I can't think of the right word, but the prodigy. That's like the prodigies of art and music and sport and everything else. People that are born with phenomenal God-given automatic perfection talent. Everyone else, no matter how skilled you are, eventually you will fail every time you take a risk. Life is a risk. Every time you walk out the door, it's a risk. So are you going to shut your door and never walk out your door again? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You have to try it. And don't be afraid or discouraged or internalize fear as proof of something wrong with you or something wrong with what you're doing or going after or what you're wanting. See it as an opportunity to learn what didn't work. If you're playing a game of cards and you lose that hand, maybe you learned that the person has a good poker face. Maybe you learned that you shouldn't call on such a crap hand. And you play better the next go around. That's life. Don't fear failure. Failure is proof you're living your life. And every failure is an opportunity to realize what went wrong so that it doesn't go wrong the next time. And you just whittle that process down. And eventually you get it right. Failure is guaranteed in the learning process. Failure is guaranteed in the life process. Failure is guaranteed in the trying process. And again, if you're not failing at anything, you're not doing enough. You're not trying enough things. Your life is not big enough if you're not bad at something that you're trying to do. You should stretch a little further and risk a little more outside your comfort zone that is uncomfortable and uncoordinated and unfamiliar and risky and that you just might suck at. And that doesn't prove that you suck because you suck at it. Because you need to learn. And it will help grow and expand your mind and mental health and confidence and everything along the process. But you gotta take the risk. Growth is a risk. And growth is necessary. Take risks. And don't fear failure. Quote of the day. Take risks. And don't fear failure. Healthy risks, not risk for the sake of thrill seeking. We're not adrenaline junkies here. Don't put yourself, your health, and others in jeopardy for the sheer thrill of risks. That's seeking happiness from something external. And it won't last. And potentially your relationships and yourself won't last if you take unnecessary risk. I'm talking about necessary, healthful, wise risk in life. And failure is guaranteed. Failure is learning. Failure is proof that you are living your life and working toward growth and the correct way to do it, because you're learning what's not working. Voila! Have a good day. Bye, YouTube.